This is Elysion by Sonuscore and Best Service. It's an orchestration library and it's really unique. Really love it. So let's get down to the details. I'll show you how it works and what you can do with it. So starting with the presets and starting with the way they arranged all their sounds is really inspiring. So if you click the center panel here, you'll see that you have three different categories or themes. You have spheres, pulses, and animated. Spheres is basically kind of pads or textures. Pulses are more percussive, and animated are more kind of orchestrated ensembles. So you can check those and listen to different options here. Let's try some of them. Very nice. So what we have here is a 5-instrument orchestra. We have 5 slots. Each of them is identical and they are very easy to understand and to use. So let's get to the details and we'll explore the first one and then we'll see how everything works together. So soloing or muting an instrument. Then you have octave, and you can click, drag up and down. You have -4 to +4 octaves. And then you have the actual instrument here. You click it, and you have 3 categories: sustains, hits, and ambience. Each one of them will have soft or hard presets. So let's select sustain, soft, and get the first one. Or we can change that and select something else. For example, hits, hard, double click. Very nice. So what interesting about this tool is that everything or most of the things here are related to the mod wheel. And this is very useful and very creative. And so you can see that when we're playing this first instrument, it is connected to this first slot here, to the arpeggiator. And this is the next thing. So each of these instruments can be routed to an ARP or to an envelope. Or, of course, you can choose not to. And the difference is that the ARP will be kind of a stepper or step sequencer. And the envelope, for example, here, let's go to the second one here and let's solo that. The difference, of course, is that the arpeggiator will give you a lot of options in terms of stepping and other parameters, and we'll get to that. And if you go to the envelope, you'll basically be shaping the velocities and overall dynamics of the sound. And they both respond to the mod wheel. So again, very nice and very creative. So going back to our first instrument here, what else? Each of these instruments can be routed to an effects chain, and you have the insert here. When you click it, you see that you have a low cut, which is hardwired to 80 Hertz. Then you can set the attack and decay. So we'll get to the effects a little later. Let's go back to our patch here and click this airy bass and find something else. For example, ambience effect, hard, double click. or we can change it to a complete different kind of patch here. So let's get this one. Very nice. So you can see that each of these instruments is routed to its own ARP or envelope. And what I think we'll do now is let's dive in to this ARP. So this ARP is very useful in terms of using the mode wheel. And the way it works is very simple. You click the A section here and you set the bottom. You click the B, you set the top. And now when I'm playing a note and changing the mode wheel, you'll see that you're bound into that range. Now you can also mute parts like so. You click the A, go all the way down, click B, drag it all the way down. And that's the idea. So let's get through all these options here. First, you have the time signature, and you have all kinds of usual time signatures. Then you have the rate, so you can change that, for example, for quarters. Let me solo this instrument. And if I change the speed here, the rate. But let's get this going as well. Next, we have the order of the notes. So you have all kinds of arpeggiated chords options here. For example, up and down. And then we can reset the pattern after 1 bar or 2 bar. Next, we have an option to play specific notes within the chords. And this is very, very useful because if you think about it, you have 5 different instruments. They will all play the same chord. So if you play a C chord, every one of these instruments will play that C chord, and you might get very muddy kind of low end or maybe 2 highs, whatever. So you can set, for example, for this instrument to play only the lowest, and for the next one, for the second instrument to play maybe just the top, or top 3 or top whatever. And in this way you can just divide your chords between those 5 instruments. So it's very, very nice. Clicking back to instrument 1, you'll get this, again, this arpeggiator. Next, we have the repeats, so we can repeat, for example, each note. Let's go to the second one here. And let's change the speed or the rate here to 8. Next, we have the number of steps. So we can select, for example, 8 steps. We can skip notes that are muted. So if I have something like this, this note will be skipped and you will not hear a blank spot here. You will immediately hear the next note if you click the skip. Okay, and then you have more stuff here. You can transpose this arpeggiated chord in semitones, and you can select the octaves, how many octaves will be played. 0, 1, 2. So this is very useful as well. Let's select something else so we will get a sense of other types of sounds and see what we have in instrument 3. So the number of octaves here will give us a richer kind of arpeggiator. And the more notes in your chords, you'll get a richer kind of pattern. And last, you have copy and paste, where you can copy this pattern to another instrument. Now down here you have some global settings like swing, like doubling the speed or halving the speed. And humanizing this pattern. So that's the idea in a very quick overview. And of course, you can get very creative here. Right, so next we can set this, this instrument to an envelope, but the envelope is really available only in the sustain and the ambience categories. So let's get something else here. Let's get ambience, hard, metallic, or this one. And we'll go and select envelope. Now we're in instrument number 3, so let's go to 3, and here can do something like this. Have a look what happens when I'm changing my mod wheel. Let's select something else. And again, something else. Let's get some sustained, hard. Let's see what that is. Very nice. So next we have something else. If you click this envelope here, you'll see that you have a choice actually. So it's not only envelope, it's also a stutter kind of stepper. And again, you can select number of steps, for example 32. So it's not continuous, but you get some kind of a stuttering effect. And again, you can select the notes that will be played in the chord. You also have a retrigger option here to retrigger this envelope. And again, also here you have the A and B. So if you click A, and let's select less steps, you can see that you can change the range of your mod wheel. And the reason that you see that some of these lines going in the other direction is because I can select this and change which one will be on top or on the bottom, and that will change the direction. So that's the idea here for the envelope and for our stutter. Cool. So what we've done so far is getting to know how these instruments work and how I can select the sounds, shape the arpeggiator, envelope, or stutter. Next, let's have a look at the effects. So clicking this button here will get us to our insert effects. And what we have is the actual insert here. So if you click any of these names here, the titles, you'll get the effect. You have an 80 hertz low cut. Then you can set the attack and decay. But what's interesting about these is that you can lock them to your mod wheel. So let me click this and see what happens when I'm changing the mod wheel. And decay as well. But I can do something else. I can reverse the direction. Very nice. So next we have an EQ. This is a simple EQ. You have low, mid, and high. And again, you can lock them to your mod wheel. So I can get the high. Next we have modulations. So we have 3 choices: chorus, flanger, and phaser. Now don't forget to to select that effect. Clicking the dot here next to the effect will turn it on. And you have a mix. Next we have saturation. And we can again lock this to our motion. Let's change the decay. And go to our filter. So the filter, again, can be locked to our motion here. And we can select the type. For example, we can have high pass. Or low pass. Or band pass. And we can introduce some resonance. Of course, we can reverse the direction. Click here, and then we'll have an opposite effect when we are changing the mod wheel. So that's the idea behind those effects. Let's close that and go back to our main section here. So this is the main section, but we also have a pan section. This is very interesting. We have 2 engines, engine 1 and engine 2, and we can select which instruments will be routed to which pan engine. So in this case, we have 1 routed to this pan engine, but I can have 1, 2, and 3, and 4 and 5 to go to this pan engine. Don't forget to turn it on and select your setting here. So that's the pan engine. And finally, we have a mix console here. So that's pretty simple mix settings. We have the levels. So let's unsolo this. So that's the levels. Then we have 2 sound effects. We have delay and we have reverb. So we can set this here. You have delay and you have the reverb. You can select which type of reverb, room, for example. And then you have a selection of rooms, or you can select hall and you have selection of halls. In the delay, you can select many different types of delays. And you have also a compressor. So that's the basic idea here. And finally, we have something very special here. We can record our MIDI playing or our pattern here, and then drag and drop it into our DAW. I'll show you that in a different video. So you click this, and you're basically filling up a buffer. Then you can click and drag this to your DAW very simply. So this is it, and I think we covered pretty much everything. Let's go back to our main, and that's it. So before I finish this video, I just would like to ask you, if you like this video and other videos in my channels, please subscribe, leave comments if you have any questions, and follow me in other social media like Facebook. I have a couple of groups, and Instagram and so on. So you'll find all that information in the description for this video. That's it. I'm going to finish this video with some just playing around with the presets. I have another video that just goes through some of the presets. It's a longer video, and in Sonuscore channel in YouTube you can find a full blown demo of every sound that is included in Elysion. So that's it for now. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next videos.